Welcome back, everyone. I'm JTXRP, and today I want to shoot a video about entering the space, the crypto space. And this is for anyone who is thinking about entering the crypto space, wants to invest, and wants to understand more about the crypto space. But like, if you have not touched crypto at all, this video is for you. And I say that to say that we are going to get into the three questions that I would ask someone who is new to crypto. And this is just off the top of my head. I was very moved tonight whenever I had a conversation with someone in a Twitter space. And if you're not familiar with Twitter spaces, they are just a place where you can talk to each other on your cell phones through Twitter. It's basically what it is. And there's a group of all these people together listening to a couple people. And I messaged a guy who was new to crypto, and I was trying to help him. And many people messaged him trying to help him, which actually ended up overwhelming him. And anyways, I was really wanting to make this video for someone who is new to the space because I was so moved by the scenario that I just encountered. And I hope that this video helps you. And if it does, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm JTXRP. I cover as XRP, which is a cryptocurrency primarily, as whether it's kind of other coins that spawn off of it as well. But again, none of this is financial advice. I'm simply trying to help you, the viewer, get into the space in a way that is going to start you off on a good foot. This is going to be the first video. It's going to be rather short, and I'm going to have another video that's going to get you a little bit more acclimated as well. Make sure to also, if you're interested in XRP and learning more about it, you check out my Why XRP series that I'm also creating. But this is just for you. So let's get into it here. One, I just want to say the crypto space has been compared to the internet in the 90s. It is extremely vibrant with new projects being created all the time. Some are complete scams, others are extremely legitimate and have been working with regulators and so forth. And so the space is wide and vast, and there's many different opportunities in it. That being said, there's always a YouTuber like myself or a good friend or somebody that has the insight, that seems to have the insight into one of these different cryptocurrencies. And I say that to say is that it can be extremely overwhelming being bombarded with like three-letter, cryptocurrency tickers that you're like, what are these things and how do I make money off of it or what have you. And so I just want to tell you to, whenever you feel yourself starting to get overwhelmed, just stop and take a breath and then approach things as you would logically from any other standpoint. If you're going to go buy a product, like what is the best product? What are the competitors? Those kinds of things. Just start to think logically, even though it's crypto and it's new, relatively. We can get into how new it is in another video, but it can be overwhelming. So I just want to start there because I really felt for this guy whenever many people were messaging him trying to help and it didn't seem as helpful. But I say that to say, understand and know where you're starting from. Maybe you have a tech background and crypto is not as vague or is not as elusive to you as someone who's maybe, in a more, works in construction, for example, and doesn't understand blockchain as much. That's perfectly fine. Wherever you're coming from, just understand where you're coming from and know that you may have less or further to go than other people. And that's fine. You just have to start where you're starting and realize that compared to others, you are where you're at and set goals of how to get to where you need to go. So it's perfectly fine. But my first question is, where are you starting from? And make sure you understand that crypto is highly technological. It has to do with finance and finance and payments primarily. I mean, you can get into some other technical aspects of it. It's going to be used for what's NFTs, which we can get into another video, but that's a part of it. That goes into ownership and to those conversations. So if you have a background in real estate or in anything that's being sold and has to have some understanding of who sold the item and where it came from, that will help you. If you are older and you're just hearing about crypto and you're trying to figure out a way to get into it, it may take you a bit longer, but I want you to understand where you're coming from because everyone starts differently. And that's okay. It's just a matter of getting to where you want to be to invest, and understanding what the tools are, what you want to invest in, understanding what you're investing in, and then making that decision. So, but again, that's my first question is, where are you starting from? The second question is, and this is going to sound negative, but how much are you willing to lose? For me, I wasn't willing to lose more than $100 whenever I first got into this. My cousin actually called me up and told me about this great thing called XRP. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've been into crypto. I invested in Bitcoin. I lost my accounts. I lost money because, and this isn't to scare you, I lost track of it. And I didn't understand as much of what I was doing then. And it took me failing to figure out how much I could have gotten if I had persevered. And so that thought and that motivation and a little bit of success kind of triggered the thought in my head that, wow, I really could have done better had I, you know, invested before and took it more seriously. And so that was for me, got me to doing my channel and to help others, because I've had marginally more success, not a ton. I'm obviously still doing the channel, guys. But yeah, how much are you willing to lose? What is the smallest experiment? Like if you invested $5, $25, $100, maybe for you it's $1,000. Maybe that's small for you. Hey, if it's small for you, make sure to donate, by the way, if you like this video, but or support the channel in some way. But there's gonna be times where you're like, well, how much do I invest? How much can I get my returns on? No matter how much you invest, there's always going to be opportunities that you could have done more, you could have done less. Always do what you are willing to lose, because the crypto space can be daunting. And I'm going to try to help you find ways to where there are ways to invest your money in a good way and in a safer way. And I'm actually working to help start an organization that will help with that, with a couple other awesome people. But that hasn't launched yet. So what we're going to be talking about is how much you are willing to lose, because it could 10x. And by 10xing, I mean it could, your funds, $100 could be multiplied by 10 and you have 1,000. You could have $10,000 if you invest $1,000 and it 10x's into a coin. It just depends. And there's so many factors to it, but you could lose everything. So how much are you willing to lose? The third thing is, are you willing to put in the research? The thing about crypto is a lot of stuff changes daily, weekly, monthly, with regulation, with updates to technology, to how the technology integrates with each other. You may be interested in one coin and it decides to do something totally different than what you thought it did, 2 weeks ago, or slightly different, but that impacts your investment strategy. So you have to go and do your own research. It's called DYOR, and do your own research. And so that being said, if you're willing to do the research, if you know where you're starting from, if you know how much you're willing to lose, then it might be a good time to, if the answer is, sorry, let me go back. The answer is yes. Are you willing to put in the research? If the answer is, how much you're willing to lose and you have that amount in your head that you'd like to invest, and you know where you're starting from, as in you understand your mental landscape, and whether you know nothing about crypto, and that's fine, whether you know a little bit, whether you know and you're some and you're trying to figure out more, as long as you have an understanding of a picture of how long that road is for you and that you believe you can travel it, then you should move on to the next video that's either going to be on the end screen or the description. And that video will help you to figure out where to start to get started in crypto. But I hope this was helpful to you. Please don't get into crypto if you're going to get overwhelmed and give up. I hope this video has helped you to figure out how to get started and encourages you to keep going. And hopefully if it did, make sure to drop a like. And if you have any questions or comments below, do that. Like, I'll be happy to answer as best I can to answer your questions, or point you to a video or create a video that helps you. I'm even thinking about starting a class where I can get people and answer their questions, where I can devote an hour of time or something like that, just to dedicate with those persons. But that's going to be a paid charge, because I'm probably going to get a lot of that if that's the case. So, but you can look for that link in the description if I decide to do that. Or if you want to message me about it, feel free to do so. But if I make it, it will be in the link below. But make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. If you'd like to move on, please watch the next video. That's going to be just here. But I'm JTXRP, and I'm out.